Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Okay, we're back after a couple of days. Mini vacation down in the Ozarks. I put up a couple of little preparedness challenges over there. Those who participated in that, nobody got it exactly right where I was, um, but you were close. A lot of you were close, and a lot of great answers on those. What would you do if you knew everything was coming apart in 24 hours? And also on what would you do if money weren't an object and you could build whatever kind of preparedness retreat or whatever you wanted to. My favorite answer, of course, was Stonemont, and I will agree with you on that one. Yes, we ran down for a couple of days to take the kids down to Silver Dollar City. I say that. I say take the kids down there. I love it too. So does Kelly. We're just, when we get down there, it's just like, it's a happy overdose. You get overdosed on happy. And whenever we get down to that area, we recharge, and it helps refocus, and love it. And where I was when I made those, we did a little business while we were down there, but for the most part, it was just a nice getaway. And went spent a little time up at the top of the rock, and that's where I was when I shot those videos. Any of you who have been at Top of the Rock down there, Johnny Morris's development next to Big Cedar, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't been there, you might want to drop by sometime. You'll enjoy it. Big Cedar, of course, is our go-to place down there, and we spent quite a bit of time there. So, yes, we're back. Going to talk a little bit about using money now. Oh, before I get into that, um, there is a channel that I want to recommend to you, and it's a woman who left a excuse me. I'm almost over all this. I feel good, but I just had a cold, and bouncing right back because I take all the right stuff. Um, but a woman left a comment on one of the videos. I think it was "Be Ready and Be Quiet" that I did several times ago, and she made reference. She had a great comment, and she said something about that she had a channel, and so I checked it out. All right, and I've watched several of them, and I really like it. I love down to earth, plain spoken people who don't try to yell and scream in your face and just kind of put it to you, just like I'm sitting talking to one of my relatives, and she's exactly that. And the name of her channel is I got to get this right. I pulled it up on my laptop so that I wouldn't have to. Roots, Rocks, and Feathers is the name of her channel. Roots, Rocks, and Feathers. And I like I said, I've watched several, like them. They go all over the place. The first one that I watched it started off talking about chickens, but it only lasted for a couple of minutes about chickens. And those of you who, do chickens will probably be interested in that. And then it got into, let's see, what was the name of that one? Because I do want to give the name of that. And I do suggest you go over there and watch it and subscribe to her. If I could find this. I want to tell you the name of the one that grabbed me. She has one, is Freedom Just Too Much for You? And that's a great title. And I think she's hit it on the head too. I think that it is. I think there's a lot of talkers out there that, when it comes down to brass tacks, they're just not going to stand up before it. And then she just now put one up when I went on here that I'm going to watch as soon as I'm done filming this one, or taping. Videoing, right? Just showing my age. And that is, what are you fighting for? I know my answer. Anyway, I'm looking forward to watching that. Go over, and I suggest you give her a look. You'll probably like her, and you'll probably subscribe and let her know that I sent you, if you would, so that she'll know that I think that she's got a good one over there. Okay, back to this. Money. What are you doing with your money? Things are about to explode one way or another. We don't know which way it's going to work yet. I'm going to deal with a lot more of that, as you all know, over on Patreon. Putting one up here soon that will be talking about the particulars, more particulars, okay, that we don't get into on here anymore. I kind of introduce it, kind of let you know what's happening over there, and hope you come over there, because Patreon's where we're really going to talk about the deep stuff, where we do talk about the deep stuff. And when you get some comments over there, some answers from the commenters that are excellent, you'll learn a lot from them too. And if you come over, I hope that you'll also contribute, because the people who come over to Patreon, to be honest, are the ones who are really serious, and that in no way disparages anyone who doesn't come to Patreon. I understand there are many reasons that people don't want to come to Patreon. I respect your reasons for that, and it doesn't mean that I think less of anybody who doesn't. I just see a greater depth in the commenting over there that I think other viewers get a lot from. So yeah, I'd love to have you over there so you can both benefit from it and add to it. But money, okay. Like I said, we're about to see things blow up here after the final decision is made on this election. And it's one way or another, there's going to be something new to deal with, and though that thing new is going to be something important. You know, when people think about their money, most people don't think seriously enough about their money. They know that they make some and they spend most of it, or all of it, or more than all of it sometimes, and they don't realize the power that money has. The affluent people understand the power of money. Too often, those who are not affluent tend to diminish the importance of money because they don't have as much as they'd like to have. And so they kind of go, oh, money, can't buy happiness and can't buy, this, and if you just relying on your money and things like that, well, money can't buy true happiness. It can't buy true love or the grace of God. But I tell you what, except for the grace of God, it can buy pretty much anything that closely resembles all of those other things. What money truly buys is opportunity, choices, freedom, and influence. Now, whatever money you have, you are contributing toward people who are either supporting you or working against you. You are giving your money to people, whether it's going to be in what you buy. Okay, what you buy at the store, what stores you buy from. And you are going to be giving them the money to influence the world around you. And that influence can be good, it could be bad. And in many cases, people, without realizing it, continue to finance the very companies that are working against their best interests. And they do this because they don't know any better. And I'm going to ask everybody here to kind of pitch in here in a minute and help everybody kind of compile a list of who some of these companies are. I could do it, but I think it's a lot more interesting when you all do it. And because you start getting into a back and forth on things and explaining things that I won't have time to get into here. And maybe a lot of it I don't know. I don't know everything. Sorry, I'm still not over it all. But when people spend their money, they're making a statement. Essentially what they're saying, they're not just saying, I want that product. They're saying that I'm willing to exchange the money that I work for. I am willing to exchange a parcel of my life, okay, that I spent X number of hours working in order to gain these little trading bits that we call money to somebody else for this product or this service. And too often, if you don't pay attention to who you are contributing to, who you're buying from, you are financing their ability to influence the world, as I just said. And so what you're really doing is trading some of your life, time of your life that you'll never get back. That God gave it to you, and He's only going to give you what He wants to give to you. He's not going to say, "Oh, okay, you misspent that 8 hours. I'm going to give it back to you at the other end." No, that's not going to happen. This is a one-shot deal, and we all need to be smarter in what we do with it. There are a lot of companies, and there are a lot of lists out there of companies who support or contribute to causes that those of us who, you who watch me and watch others that are similar to me in our beliefs, that whose beliefs are diametrically opposed to our values. And so if you buy these products from those companies, you're giving them money. Say, here, take my money. Take the money of somebody who claims to be against these things and then spend it to buy advertising to promote those things that I find morally reprehensible. That's exactly the exchange that's being made. Now, just to give you an example, and I'm not going to say that I'm any better than anybody else. Probably you're all right on the same page with me. So I'm not trying to set myself up like, oh, here I am, you should be like me. Well, some of the best deals in the world are from Nebraska Furniture Mart. If you live here, I don't know how widespread they are, but here in the Midwest, we have one here in the Kansas City area. They have great deals on furniture, electronics, and everything else. Well, we happen to know that they contribute to an organization that finances, and I'll get into more details over on Patreon, but it's not necessary here in the video section of this. Feel free to leave it in the comments. But we know that they make contributions to organizations that fund things we don't believe in. Not just that we don't believe in, we believe against. We 100% against. Okay. Now, we got 3 kids, and they're growing up, and as a result, we need to replace pretty much all of the furniture in our house. Maybe not all, but how it is. It breaks down when you get kids jumping all over it. And but we will not buy from Nebraska Furniture Mart because we know where that money goes, and we're going to pay extra someplace else. But and I don't know whether these other companies also contribute to causes that we don't believe in. And sometimes there's no way to know. But we do know that Nebraska Furniture Mart does, and so we won't spend our money there. Okay, that's kind of what I'm talking about. There are lists out there, and I invite everybody here who's watching this who cares, go ahead and find those lists. Mention certain companies by name if you want to. Please give the verification or someplace where it can be verified because people do want to know these things. Or even pages, put in links to pages. Or let's see, I may not have time to go back and check all the comments and approve all the links, but do whatever you can to refer people to places to where they can find the lists of those companies who contribute against our values. There are things. Warfare always does come down to money. War is money. War is about making money and about using money. And great fortunes are won and lost in war. Now, we are in a war right now, a culture war. And we should not avoid understanding how important our contribution is. So, just like, did you ever read that book by Smedley Butler, War is a Racket? It's one of the first books that I have any of my students read, or any young person that wants to go into the military. It's a great book. It's more like a pamphlet, but he explains how every war that he was ever in, and this guy was I think at the time he was the highest ranking Marine officer at the time. I think he had he had 1 Medal of Honor and 2 brevet medals. Anyway, he explains he got to the point to where he realized that every war he'd ever been in was for corporations and for money. And I could take back if I wanted to, but you probably don't need me to. You probably know yourself. Pretty much every war we've been in has been about money. It hasn't been about the high ideals and the principles that they tried to sell with posters and commercials, getting our young people to sign up and go over there and put themselves in harm's way. It was money. Now, we're in a war now. You have the opportunity to participate either on our side or against us with your money. And I would suggest that you start looking into it. Make sure that where you're shopping, where you're going, is a place that supports the values that you do. And do not spend your money at those places who don't. Okay? Stop financing the enemy. That's essentially what it comes down to. Excuse me, just half a second. Okay, sorry, somebody was calling me. Now, I don't, I've heard Sean Hannity say, and I like Sean Hannity for the most part. I like him, 99% of the time. But I've heard him say that he doesn't support boycotts. I don't understand that. Our money is our influencer. Okay, you write a letter to somebody running for office and say, I don't like the way you're doing things. That letter goes in the round file. Okay, but you tell them, hey, I'm not contributing to your campaign anymore, and I'm telling all my friends to stop contributing. Well, it depends on, how much you've contributed and how big your circle of friends is. And that's also an area we're going to talk about later on. But that tends to get their attention. And it also depends how much money they're getting from everybody else, right? The larger slice that you're contributing, the larger slice of influence you're able to have on them. But Hannity says he doesn't agree with boycotts. I do. Starve the monster. Starve the enemy. Tell your friends, don't drink this particular product. They support such and such. And then don't. It's easy to say, well, we shouldn't do that. I hate doing this. I don't do this, but I need my whatever. Well, don't. I mean, this is a war that is fairly easy, to participate in. It's not like you're crawling through the mud and haven't eaten for a day and a half, right? And everything on you itches. All you got to do is stop slurping down that particular diet drink that you love so much. Okay. So anyway, this is what, I heard somebody say in this thing that's going on politically right now, 74 million people aren't going to forget. Well, what do you think would happen if 74 million people stopped buying the products of some of these companies that contribute to the forces that are against us? We've heard groups sometimes call a day without this, a day without that. We're going to show them what the world's like without us. Well, how about if we show them what the world's like, what their bottom line is like, without 74 million of us buying their junk every day? I know we're not going to attain that goal, but let's at least get started on it. And as you do, you'll pay more attention to what you're doing. You'll pay more attention to some of these companies and what they're about, and you can share them with your friends. And that's how this happens. Share it with your friends. Let them know. Half of them, they won't believe it at first. But if you say, hey, let me show you the source on this. Now you claim that you believe, that this, whatever it is, to be wrong. This company is financing that with the money that you spend to buy their product. Now, do you really believe what you say you do, or are you just spouting off? Brings it home to them. And a lot of people will change. So anyway, understand what the affluent people understand. And that is that money is a weapon. Money is power. Money is an influencer. And regardless, you may think, well, I don't have that much money. Well, you do have what you have. Make sure that you spend it properly. Spend it to support the people that you believe in, and stop giving it to the people who are working against you. Okay? Okay, I'm going to let you go with that and just remind you that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And that preparation is having an effect on how we either build up or tear down those working against us, and how we build up those who are on our side. So you all have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.